hmm
Hey everybody, this is episode 4 of Double Cross Anime Podcast. Um, Episode 3 isn't up yet. I don't know if it'll be up by the time you listen to this. That may be the lost episode, or I may be able to get it all together. Who knows?
Well, I don't think it's gonna be issues. Like it just make it more interesting if we have like one episode that never like come out. So
Right.
people had to guess what we were talking then.
Yeah, it'll add to the mystique, to the
That's
legend.
right.
All right. Um, I'm seeing some weird. Okay, never mind. Forget it. All right. Which winter show should we do first?
So this week we discussed on the episode 5 of all the shows that we seen right now, and 4 episodes of Acropolis from episode 6 to 9. Is it?
Right.
Yep. Let's do After the Rain.
Okay. All right. So the last episode of After the Rain, episode 4, I know you weren't particularly hot on. It was like your least favorite so far. So did this one manage to rescue the show for you?
Yeah, it is still pretty good. It's a bit up on the slow side for me. So like for me, it's nothing much happen in this episodes, but it and the tone is much lighter than compared to last week, obviously. But in general, I enjoy what I've seen so far. How about you?
Yeah, me too. Um, I don't. I don't know if I agree that not much happened.
Well, in terms of their relationship, the progression, I don't think it had too much progression in their relationship compared to what we've seen for the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, because they went on a date last time, so
Yeah.
it would, unless they started to get more serious or more physical or more just intimate in one way or another,
hmm
it would be hard to top that.
Yeah.
But I like this episode. I liked the he comes home and he sees her. Well, he doesn't see her being motherly, right? He just because she's
Nope.
hiding in the closet.
Yeah. Wow. She act exactly like Pippin Tom, that.
Yeah.
So all the like all the looking from the closet, hiding, and my God, like, and she even invite herself, like the son invite her to his house, but it was his house.
Yeah. If she were like a responsible person, she probably wouldn't go in. She would just drop.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can't leave him alone, right?
No.
I think it
But
probably was the responsible thing to go in and wait with him, but it was not a responsible thing to like peek into your manager's secret room where you're obviously not supposed to be
it's not.
looking.
Well, it's not a secret room. It just his room, his work room.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's not like super professional of her to
yeah.
stick her eye in the crack and see what there
Uh,
is to see.
and do you notice that when she was hiding in the closet, there was a box. There was his box that say, I think it's a 2001, or
I
is
saw
it like
I saw a
it's a
box that
year
said 1990.
1990? Yeah. Do you have any idea what it is?
What's in the box?
What in the box? Yeah.
No, I have no idea. I mean,
Well.
I know that he wants to be a writer, right? Because
All right.
when she peeks into his study, there's a bunch of like empty paper, blank paper,
Yep.
and I think that's probably what's in the box too, in the closet.
Hmm.
Maybe like stories that he's written or just drafts, like
Yeah.
notebooks full of ideas, something like that.
Yeah. That interesting. Hmm.
I like
Right.
that he has because he's constantly talking in inner monologues about the fact that he's old and half of his life is over with and his dreams are pretty much over and done with. So I like that we got to know a little bit more indirectly about his dream in this episode, just from things that Tachibana sees in his apartment.
Yeah, and we have like one of the of the best new character of the show, the
Who's that?
hamster. The hamster.
Oh. What was the
Man,
hamster's name? I forget.
Shubu or something. I think I wrote it down somewhere.
It's like Tsubu or
Shubu, yeah, Shubu.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute hamster.
yeah, he was adorable, and actually he's the main reason that he getting a newfound popularity again between his staff.
Yes.
So that was funny. That was nice touch.
Yeah, I was when everyone started approaching the manager and saying, you know, oh Tencho, I've had a hamster and this is what you do to care for it. I was interested in the fact that it seemed as though Tachibana didn't have a hamster and that's why she was jealous because everyone had this link, you know, this connection with the manager that she didn't have. And I kind of like the idea that she would be like left out in the cold with regards to the hamster situation. But it turns out that she did have a hamster, and I was kind of disappointed by that.
Well, I don't think she have a hamster though. I think she just make it up so that
Oh.
so that she persuade Tencho to like to ask her all the question about hamster.
Right.
So it's kind of jealousy in a way.
Oh, it's definitely jealousy. But
Which
it didn't even occur to me that she was lying. Do you know that?
I think she was lying. I don't know that one, but I just think that she was lying.
Okay, I like that theory. I dig it for sure. And she gave him that little slip of paper with instructions for, you know, how to care for a hamster, how to raise a hamster. And the episode actually ended on that note.
Yeah, that's ended on that note.
I think out of the 5 episodes, it was my least favorite ending, because a lot of the other endings have been either like a little bit comedic, like the ending of episode 4, where her mom mixes up the movie booklets.
Yep.
And a lot of others, like the earlier ones, were more kind of contemplative, you know, like kind of introspective. But this one, it was kind of her getting what she wants, and I don't know how I feel about the episode resolving so neatly.
Well, but visually, I think I think the image of like they change, they giving the note together.
Yes.
I think it's corresponding to like one of the earliest image of Tencho, like when he greeting with his son. So they do a little like
The fist bump.
that's one. So I think that's kind of the visual motive.
Okay.
So I think it's alright.
It definitely, I mean, symbolizes or signifies, or whatever word you want to use, the fact that they're growing closer together.
Yeah, right.
But Tachibana is really she's really pushing that. It struck me in this episode. I mean, I think she has been manipulative before. Yep. Like, she's really trying to get her way, and she's trying to get in good with the manager because she has this huge obsession with him. But I think in this episode, it finally hit for me how really devious she's being.
That's the question that I want to ask you as well. So, do you think she crossed the line between like a person who's in love and express what she love and trying to manipulate her love to the guy?
I think that everyone who is in love with somebody and who pursues a romantic relationship with them, or tries to get one started, or is in a relationship, anybody who's in love or anything. Oh God, I'm not making this terribly clear. Anybody who's involved in romance at all, I think, is manipulating a little bit. Like, they want the other person to like them, so they're going to modify their behavior to get that desired outcome. So I feel as though she's just engaging in normal behavior that millions of people do every day.
So yeah, I agree with what you say, but there is a line between like just about enough and too much. So do you think that her behavior so far is too much, or still alright?
That's an interesting question because your answer is going to be informed by your opinion about the age gap.
Mm.
Like, if
Well,
you if you don't think that the age gap is appropriate, then you're going to think that her behavior is totally awful and she should, cut it out. Whereas if you're into it, then you're probably likely to be a little more forgiving. And I think I would probably lean towards the second camp.
mm-hmm.
I'm not. I mean, if these were real people, I might still be interested in watching them on TV get together, but it's obviously a
Mm-hmm.
bad idea because
Yeah.
she's still a child.
Yeah. Well, well, technically, she's still, like the age of consent and stuff. I don't think it's like illegal as well. I don't think it's like she a child at all. So, nah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Well,
In
what is the age of consent in Australia? Because I know that's where you're from or where you're living right now.
16,
Oh,
17, I think.
okay. So in the United States, it's different in different states. I think.
It 21,
Um,
I think.
well, it's 18.
It's 18. It's 18,
It's
right?
18 where I am in Virginia. I think it's different in different states. I don't think there's a national law.
Ooh.
Um,
So that's why you feel uncomfortable. But
well,
in
I don't really feel uncomfortable, but my opinion, like the idea that I have that if they were real people, it would be wrong, is informed by like the geography in which I reside. Where I live. Yeah.
all
So
right, so
yeah, you're right.
just so you know where in Japan where they live, where all the character live, the age of consent is 13.
Is what?
13.
Okay, that is gross.
I know. I I did a research and I just found out that Japan is the only the level hold on, developed countries who have the age of consent of 13. But
Okay, I just
but
googled
like
that.
in
The age of consent in Japan is
but
13 years old, but all
right
municipalities and prefectures have their own particular laws.
to protect them, yes, that's right. But the law still stay at 13.
Yeah, well Tokyo has like a youth protection law I'm reading here that prohibits adults from having sex with anyone under 17.
Mm.
So in Tokyo, for example, it has its own statute that kind of
Y-
adjusts the age of consent.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
13 is still that's
so
nasty.
it's depend on the state,
Right.
basically, yes. But well, yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it took until now for me to really think of her as manipulating the manager. But I mean, it's very clear when she's hiding in his closet that that's what's going on, right? Like
Well,
she's deceiving him, even though it was
well,
the
well,
kid's
well, well, well,
suggestion.
well.
What?
It's from the kid suggestion, so it's not her idea to begin with.
I know, but
So
it's not like he picked her up and threw her in there.
um, well, it's the kids basically said, like, let's surprise him, so
Right.
that he advised her to hide in the closet, and he kind of forget about her. So so
Yeah.
I don't blame Tachibana for that,
I kind of
for the
do.
whole situation. Well,
I kind of blame her. I don't think
right.
it's right for her to be like listening in on her boss's conversation with his kid. I just think that's a little weird.
All right. So what other things that we have in this episode
Oh, I don't know.
was so we actually see the manager who talked to his son, like the way that he normally do. So we actually see up like that side of him,
Yeah,
and and
him as a
and he
parent.
he, wo- he was acting, like just naturally, just like be himself. He's not he like I really like that fact of him. So like he very earnest. He
Yeah,
doesn't try to like to, well,
I liked when he said to his son, "Don't blame everything on ghosts."
yeah, that's right.
That seemed like a very parental thing to say.
Yeah. And secondly, we I think this episode intend for us to see Tachibana as like like frame her as part of the family. So we see many moments that they go together in the rain.
Yeah,
That's
to pick him
that's
up
like
from the laundromat.
yes, that's like part of the family, and
Right.
she was cooking for him as well. The
Yes.
omurice,
Yes, the show. She's getting to play mom.
a modeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but I don't. Oh man, I don't know. That's a little strange.
yeah, I don't like the idea of it, but the execution, the way the show do it was really good.
Yeah, it was. I like this episode, and I like this show. I can't imagine that anything is gonna pass it for my favorite of the season. Um, but it's interesting that the thing that I really have an objection to is her acting like motherly
Mom.
towards his kid.
Mm-hmm.
If she wants to go after the guy himself, that's cool. I mean, I'm on board with it. I want to see where it goes. But when
Well,
she starts involving his son,
yeah.
that's for me. That's like where I draw a line.
Yeah, but I don't think she tried to impress his son just to get into him. I think it's just like the way that she genuinely like care for him.
I kind of got the feeling, and I don't know what it was that made me get this feeling, because again, this is the one show that I don't take any notes while I watch.
Mm.
But I got the feeling while she was cooking it that she
Mhm.
was hoping that the manager would see.
Oh,
And I don't. That's not just a guess. I really feel as though there was like a particular moment that made me think that, but I can't remember what it was.
right. And another detail that I like is like you look at the bookshelf from the manager's room, and you see like they all about like how to be a manager, how to be a good manager, how to like how to make a magic immediately.
How to be liked by your employees and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like all of this insecurity that he has becoming a manager, and it's nice to see like a 45-year-old still like very insecure about his role, about like what other people think of him.
Yeah, and we even saw his little booklet where he takes notes when he's walking around the restaurant
Yeah.
about how to like ingratiate himself to others. He pulled it out and he was planning on writing something in it in this episode,
Yeah.
but he actually put the pen away and decided not to. So that I guess that's supposed to mark progress there.
Yeah, and he wonders himself that why he becomes so sensitive about all of these like all of these things that people talk around about him.
Right. Well, I mean,
What?
I think the answer is that he's like he is attracted to Tachibana at a I guess a subconscious level at this point. So that's why
Mhm.
that's why we're supposed to think that he's a little more interested in how these young girls are perceiving him.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else that you want to talk
No, I
about
just
these episodes?
well, I mean, even if there was, I wouldn't be able to remember it because I don't like distract myself from watching the show and write anything down. I really enjoy like it's when it comes out on Thursday, I
Mhm.
immediately watch it. I don't wait. You know, every
Yeah.
other show that we talk about, you know, when we record, I do it in the hours leading up to the podcast.
Yep.
This one I will watch it like whenever it comes out. I don't care.
That's the only one that you're following, right? Like that, right?
Well, no, also Pop Team Epic, but we're not talking about that. I always watch Pop
Alright.
Team Epic right when it comes out.
How is Pop Team Epic so far?
It's
May I ask?
I love it. It makes me laugh out loud every single time. I don't know how many. I can probably count on one hand the number of anime comedies that have made me laugh out loud every episode.
Do they still, repeating half of the episodes?
Yeah, it's the same format every time, but it's always
Oh my
different voice
God.
actors.
Oh my god. I can't believe it.
You know
If-
they're famous voice actors too.
Alright.
Yeah, like-
it make no sense to me at all.
But it's not a totally logical thing, but I enjoy it. All right,
Alright, so-
what's next?
Kokkoku.
Sure. So this is episode
All right.
5.
Yep.
And I think this episode was Majima was kind of the central character of this one, the girl with the blue hair.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
We got her like at the end of the last episode. She says, "I watched my family members or one of my family members turn into a herald."
Yep.
And I was thinking, oh, the show's probably not going to show that to us for a long time. Probably episode 7 or 8, maybe 9. We'll see the flashback. I was wrong.
Yep.
We get hit with it right away.
I had the same feeling with you as well, and we got the flashback. What do you think about that flashback? How do you think? How do you feel about that flashback?
How do I feel about it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the look into what happened, especially the fact that her family had the stone.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the stone that her family had, was it the same one that the Genuine Love Society now possesses, or was it a different one?
I didn't check into it, but I think I would say that it was the same one.
Okay. It kind of makes sense to me that it would be the same one, because she probably took possession of it after the rest of her family died, or however you want to describe what happened to them.
Transforming.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you don't actually see them become heralds. You just see the jellyfish, the specters start to leave their bodies because those blue tendrils come out and then they turn to dust.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that she probably got the stone. And maybe it somehow made its way into, like, she gave it to the Genuine Love Society guy and partnered up with him. I don't know.
Well, personally, I don't really like that flashback. So it does explain us everything that we need to know. So it does explain us why, like how the family members of Majima turn into the heroes. It explained to us why she get out of it. It's explained to us like the basic idea behind, when people lose their will in the statics, they turn into one of the heroes.
Right.
But I don't like the actual, executions. I just feel that it's way too fast. It's just way too fast that all these members of her family just lost their will, become crazy and turn into dust and turns into heroes.
But we don't actually know for sure, like, what the
well,
process is like. We see them turn to
yeah,
dust,
right.
and later in the episode we can infer that they're I mean, we don't even have to infer. The screen literally puts up their pictures as the heralds are getting, appearing. But we don't actually see them transform or anything. So I feel like there may be more still that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
At least I hope so.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of this flashback. And anything else?
Oh, I don't know. Sure, there's plenty more that went on in this episode. You were about to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about like when she discussing with the two guys about that flashback, and then one of the guys just say like, oh all right, I will help you, but then you have to sleep with me. I was like, oh my God, it just it's just off-putting.
It was strange, but we know that that's kind of how his character works. That guy in particular, he's like very straightforward.
Practical.
Yeah, practical, and he always asks questions that he, like when he was talking with her about the heralds and all of that. In the previous episode, he was very like down to business about everything.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that he would approach her in that way in episode 5. But yeah, it's definitely like an eyebrow raiser for sure.
Yeah, and then the very next scenes, he was pushed away. He was by Churi, so I'm happy with that.
That was his just desserts. Like he got what he deserved.
Yeah, he got what he deserved. I think Churi saved him from from becoming one of the heroes.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess you could think of it that way. If people lose their will to live in stasis, they turn into heralds. That's what we've been led to believe at this point,
Yeah.
anyway. So I guess maybe she's doing everybody a favor by kicking the specters out of them.
Yeah, that's right. I'm starting to thinking about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So remember in the last episode when we were talking about whether there's just one herald or whether there's more than one?
Yeah. You were right.
I was right. Hooray!
Alright.
So it seemed since like all three members of her family were present as heralds, like miniature ones, it seems as
Yep.
though everyone who loses their will to live in stasis becomes a herald.
Yep.
But the question still remains: how do they get bigger? That we still don't know, right?
We still don't know it.
Yeah.
Well, so oh, well, so they was big to begin with. Is this right? And then they get smaller every time they execute uh, one people who violate the law.
So do you think they all start as giant creatures? They all start huge?
That's what I assume for now.
Oh, I don't think it's safe to assume that. I feel like, if the whole idea is that if you lose your will to live in stasis, that you become a herald, then maybe something about your will to live determines your size, like to begin with.
Oh right. Oh.
That's just a
Kind
guess.
of makes sense. Yeah, it's gotta make sense.
You're like your spiritual power or something like that.
Yeah,
your
right.
Dragon Ball Z power level.
Dragon Balls. And in other events, we have Makoto and his uncle going back home.
Yeah, and
To fight-
that cliffhanger.
Yeah, to fight a guy who want to stab him.
Yeah.
You think that he being stabbed?
Oh, there's no way, man. The
There's
guy
no way.
the guy stabbed him. I mean, the guy stabbed himself. Let's be real.
Well, I think the uncle he has some special ability as well.
Okay.
So I think like in the next few episodes we can see like what his speciality is, or even Makoto, like
Yeah.
you said the other days.
I'm interested in Makoto's special ability, whatever he has. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has one, and I'm pretty sure it'll be
Yeah.
really big.
I think he does.
Now, did we see Majima's eyes turn white in her flashback?
Does
That's
is
the
it?
little girl.
Well, I'm not recalling at all. Is it?
I thought that they did. I'm wondering if she has a power. In fact, I'm wondering if the fact that her family had that stone means that their bloodline is is like the other main bloodline, because we have the Yukawas. That's Juri, the grandpa, the dad, Tsubasa, Makoto, and then there's Majima and her family. And so now I'm thinking that Makoto is probably like the son of one of the what are their names? Yukawas.
Yeah.
And then someone from Majima's family as well.
So that's make him the ultimate, he has like two of the main bloodlines.
Yeah.
So that's make him like even more awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. That makes him like the ultimate stasis super weapon.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
I'm thinking that her family having that stone is going to be like really relevant. Although I'm thinking that her family having that stone is going to be really relevant. Although
relevant. Yep.
now that I think about it, if her family is part of this amazing bloodline, like with supernatural abilities, in theory, why do they all lose their will to live in stasis? That is
like so quick.
Yeah. Oh no, it's time has stopped. I guess there's no reason to go on living.
Yeah.
Even though my wife and my 2 kids are right here in front of me.
Yeah, that's right. Nah.
And I still
What
don't know
else?
what's going on. I still don't know what's going on with the dad. He's just acting like really selfish and ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't understand what his deal is, even from a, like a narrative or a script standpoint.
Oh, I have one more things. So there are two guys who already died, and we still don't see the specters coming out of them. So I don't know how it worked as well.
What do you
So
mean?
remember that there was a guy from the last episodes, like in the very end, who were killed by the heroes.
And his thing goes into Makoto.
No. So that were afterwards. That were after that. Remember
Oh,
there
right, when
was
they're in the house.
yeah the one in the house, and afterwards there was a guy the guy who always come with the managers, no, not the managers,
The head
the
of
main
the
ga-
GLS, yeah.
Yeah.
With the pink polo.
yeah he was killed as well, but we didn't see any specters coming out of them.
He got his head clean, like, just whacked off his shoulders.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was. So I don't know how the rule works as well. So is there any specter coming out of them to come through another static people who have the bloodline?
Well,
Or
I mean, all the members of the Yukawa family are already active in stasis.
yeah. Oh well, they're still the mother of Makoto,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I don't think she's relevant. Hey.
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Well, let's see if there is if it is a plot holes.
Might be.
Mm.
At this point, I'm choosing to believe that, there's a reason for it,
Yep.
but I might be wrong.
All right. What do you think about this episode so far? About the whole show so far?
I'm still liking it. It's feeling like this episode was probably my least favorite so far.
It is my least favorite so far.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like, I had a lot of least favorites so far this week. Actually,
Alright.
that's not true. It's
Alright.
it's good. I'm still looking forward to the next one.
All right.
Next show.
The next shows. Let's go with Junji Ito.
All right, why are we still watching this?
All right.
I just want to ask you that right now.
I'm still watching it, and I'm planning to watching it till the end because I still like the tools, the like the way the way they do with these short collections, but it's not a good story at all.
No, it isn't.
All right, how do you think about the two particular
they were
story
awful.
of the week?
They were just terrible. All right, the ongoing tale of Oshikiri
Yep,
is at least somewhat interesting on a conceptual level.
that's
the
right.
the idea that when he or when anybody else walks through the arches, I guess, that lead to his house, they enter a different world.
Dimension, yeah.
My favorite part of this episode was actually his room.
Oh, right.
The red and black checked wallpaper.
Yeah, yeah,
It reminded
It's-
me of something out of like a David Lynch film.
yeah. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I was gonna mention. Yes.
Oh, really?
It
Your,
was.
I stole your thunder.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen like a lot of Lynch's filmography, but I did watch Twin Peaks, his
All right.
television show.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And it just struck me as being something that you would see in Twin Peaks. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that literal pattern had been somewhere in Twin Peaks, and that's where I remembered it from.
I watched like half of the shows, half of the first seasons
Of Twin
of
Peaks.
of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
It was interesting so far. I don't know
watched the
I don't know
whole
why I
first
stopped it.
season. I watched the whole first season and then I quit midway into the second season because it gets really weird.
All right.
But
Where is your definition of David Lynch movies? So you know.
I mean,
His-
he's a bizarre guy. He's a strange
Yeah,
individual,
he
and he
is.
makes strange films.
Well, have you watched any of his movies?
I have not. I've I've
All
only
right.
seen Twin Peaks, I think. I haven't seen Mulholland Drive.
Let
Uh,
let you try to watch Mulholland Drive. It's like one of the best, like one of my favorite movie ever.
I've not attempted it. I've not. I mean, I'm interested in watching it, but
It's really good. It like it changed the way that look at cinema as an art form.
yeah.
So I have a huge depth to it, to the movie.
So did this episode of Junji Ito change the way that you think about anime?
It does a little.
All right.
Well, to
I
be
just think,
fair,
like, just yeah, talk.
yeah.
Do your thing, man, because I didn't dig this episode at all.
Well, to be fair, yeah, I like the idea behind that. Like you say, like a guy step into the house that lead to like another dimension of himself of another world. But it's the actual story is making no sense at all, and I think they're gonna be a sequel, uh, episodes of that.
Yeah, because it's called The Ongoing Tale of Oshikiri.
The art, yeah. So I'm not really a fan of it, and like I also like the idea of like someone vanish from a thin air. I always love that kind of story.
Hmm.
So like so in the beginning when we see like one of his schoolmates classmate disappear,
Yeah, Fuji, the girl.
the girl, it's kind of interesting.
I guess.
Yeah, but other than that, it's awful. And the next tales, the second half of the episode was awful as well. It just
Yeah, the Soichi, the return of Soichi, and he just like made the dolls, and they just ran around like sticking nails in his butt, and
yeah.
like, oh gosh. The Soichi
Alright.
the Soichi one I just hated as a whole, but the Tale of Oshikiri, like if the show's art and animation wasn't so bad, I could have seen myself like maybe getting into that.
Mhm.
But it's just terrible. Do you remember the scene where there's the bully in Oshikiri's class,
Yep.
or whatever
Uh-huh.
whatever the kid's name is,
Yep.
and he like pins him on the ground, and he's
Yep.
hitting him back and forth.
Uh-huh.
The animation
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is so stilted and so bad. Like he
It-
brings his arm down in one in one frame his arm is raised and getting ready to punch, and then in the next frame he's already swung and the guy's head just like rotates 180 degrees and you
You know,
don't see it move.
It's like a slideshow.
It's, it's so terrible. How is this kind of anime being made in 2018?
I do you think it's on purpose
No
of
way.
the studio? Mm,
No way. It's not on purpose. Why would they disrespect Ito like this?
all right, so I have a question for you, a big
Okay.
questions
Yeah,
regarding Junji Ito.
Yeah.
Do you want us to watch it more and review it more?
No way.
All right. So, is there any other show that you're thinking of?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm watching plenty of other stuff, but I don't know if any of it is
Right.
like suitable. What else are you watching?
I'm thinking of two right now.
Well, you said you didn't want to do Sora Yori because you're already blogging that.
Yeah, that's right. But we could talk about that.
I guess.
Because
Yeah. What were the
I
two that you
guess,
were
yeah.
thinking of?
And the other one was so that was one of
Oh,
them.
okay.
And the other one was the Tonkotsu ramen show.
We could do that. That show's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, really, because I'm kind of losing my interest in it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I've only
But,
seen the first 3 episodes. I'm gonna watch the next 2 tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Because I watching another one. So four, it's like I think that from the first novel. So the first act is the first 4 episodes.
Oh, it's based on a novel.
I think it's based on the light novels.
Oh, I didn't know it was based on light novels. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're losing interest in it, then let's not do that. And if you're already blogging Sorayori, I mean, what else is
Okay,
there? What else is there to talk about? There's Darling in the Franxx, I guess. Are you still watching that?
I'm still watching that.
Yeah, I
Have
mean, I am too. But
oh, yeah, we could talk about that because nah, I don't mind. It just we can discuss some things out of it.
I suppose. What else is there? Let me see what I'm watching.
Yeah, right.
All right.
And I watched like a
Oh,
whole bunch of
we could do Three
yeah.
Gatsu. Oh, but that doesn't start airing again for like 3 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Actually, we could do Trigasus, but yeah.
yeah, that doesn't come on for a while.
Hmm. What other shows?
I don't know.
I watched the whole bunch of Slice of Life shows, which I think you don't get into it.
Oh wait, are you watching Yuru Camp?
Yep.
Okay, I'm actually thinking about picking that up.
you know it's kind of a show that I always like ready to drop it, but it was so good. Like each episode was so nice, so warm, so relaxing that I'm still continue watching it until now.
All right, do you want to do that one?
Yeah, that all right. I don't know. There's much to talk about it though.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
we could try. We could try if we can talk like if we have something to talk about it.
All right. Well, why don't we just put a pin in this for right now, and then we'll make the decision,
Right.
between now and next week. We've
Yep.
come up with some ideas. So between all the ones that we listed, we'll think of something.
All right.
So I guess we can, for now, we'll just do Violet Evergarden real quick.
Yep. All right. Violet Evergarden.
I already know you like this episode because I saw your blog post.
Yep. It was for me it was one of the best. So like Violet Evergarden just keep better and better.
Yeah. I'm glad
How
you
do you
like
think
it.
about it? Yep. Nope.
No, not no. Just
All right.
I don't think I liked it as much as 3 or 4.
All right.
Um, in episode 3 and in episode 4, there was in both of those there was one moment where Violet like delivered the letter that she had written to the
Yeah, yeah,
recipient.
yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
in both of those episodes, I was like really moved by what she had written and how
Yeah.
evident it was that she was like really trying to do her job as best she could and like trying
Yeah.
to understand what people were feeling. In this
Mhm.
one, because she pulls herself out of the equation and lets the princess do everything, and so
Yeah.
then it becomes a story that's more about the princess and less about Violet.
Yep.
And maybe that's the reason I didn't like it as much.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you that it was the opposite that compared to the last 2 episodes that we watched. That instead of Violet writing the letters, the letter that reached the heart, it's the princess that does it. But I think that's the reason why that I enjoy it that much, because the focus is not about Violet but about the princess.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I actually think that's the larger than life approach is suitable for the show than like many small moments. So I think this episode like was like one of the best that I've seen of the show so far.
Right. I know you seem to like the format where the show gets to explore a new character each time,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just hitting the same note about Violet and how she's, kind of odd and distant and
Yeah.
strange
Yeah,
over and over again.
that's
Yeah,
right.
I see that. I did like the princess's story, but ultimately well, I don't know. Let me see what
Your note.
yeah, I'm looking through my notes here. What could possibly be the reason that I didn't like it as much? I don't know. Maybe I have like a disdain for royalty. Maybe I don't like the
Or-
idea of like a king and a queen and a prince and a princess. Maybe that's it. Because I'm an American boy, and we got a president over here. Um,
Well,
and what a president he is.
mm,
He's a strange individual. Oh, here's a question for you.
yep.
What Violet is still pretty green, right? She's still pretty
Hmm.
inexperienced.
Yep.
So why was she assigned to this task of writing these really crucial letters between Drossel and Flugel, who are two nations who may go to war again? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, yes. Well, I think that she have gained some experience, some more experience between episode 4 and episode 5 that we haven't have a chance to see it. That
I mean, I would hope so because she's her work is gonna like it could prevent a
you,
war or it could cause it.
now you know what is the thing that doesn't make sense to me, that the two nations who may be at war that hide the auto memory doors from the same company. So basically, that same company can manipulate like all the letters coming together, and that is exactly the thing that Violet did. So she manipulated. She told the um her what's her name, Kataya,
Natalia?
to
Yeah.
let the prince write the letter himself. It's not in her professions. It, so I think it just doesn't make sense to me. That's like the two countries maybe at war that hire the same people from the same company to
Yeah.
to
Well,
ghostwrite letter for them.
yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Aren't there other auto memory doll companies
Yeah,
like in the world?
they have like a class that dedicated to make the to like to make the audio memory those graduate.
Yeah, there's a school for it, and you
Yeah,
have to
there's school
imagine
for it.
that that's not the only school. There's probably a school for auto memory dolls in Drossel and a school for auto memory dolls in Flugel.
Yeah,
I don't know why they had to not only get them from the same company, but also hire them from a company that's not in either country.
yeah. Oh well. I think the latter makes sense because it's from the third countries. It make more sense to me than like. Well, it doesn't make sense actually.
It doesn't,
Yeah, it
because
doesn't.
they're both of those countries are still like kind of at odds with each other. That's why they need this marriage. It's a
Yeah,
political thing. So
yeah,
it's not as though they're hiring from outside both of their nations in order to be fair or
yeah.
objective.
That's right. Nah.
And you know what else doesn't make sense?
What else?
Remember when the princess's name is Charlotte. Remember when she's
Yep.
talking to Violet around the
Hmm.
midpoint of the episode, and she's like, "Oh, I don't, I really want to marry this guy, but I don't know anything about him. Like, I don't know how he really feels about this, and he's probably just using an auto memory doll as well."
Yep.
If the idea of auto memory dolls is so widespread that people jump to the conclusion that people are using them, then why is everyone so enthralled by this exchange of letters? Wouldn't regular people also realize they're probably just using auto memory dolls?
Mm, Um.
Especially since regular people who are illiterate
Yep.
are exactly the people who need to go to these auto memory dolls to get their feelings down on paper because they can't read or write. So the idea of an auto memory doll must be like really widespread even among the lower class.
Yes.
So why wouldn't they realize that the auto memory dolls are being used for this exchange of letters between the prince and the princess?
I think they do, but because
Then why are they
uh
like swooning?
no, you know because the idea was the memory those ghostwrite their letters, so with their consents, so they have to approve everything. They have to know that yeah, it was my feeling was
Okay, yeah, I see
putting
what
on
you're
it.
saying.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it does make sense. But the way Charlotte like commands was she doesn't see the prince himself like his word through the letters, so that's why
Right.
she got frustrated. That's why she tell uh she tell Violet to just write what Violet thinks, because she have no say in it at all. Like it become more and more of like artificial letter exchange, and not about her own feelings. So I think like in terms of narrative, it it makes sense.
Yeah. I hadn't considered the fact that people might still be interested in their letters because a doll's job is to take what the person's really feeling and put it into words.
Hmm.
So even if all those people who were gathered around to listen to the letters, even if they realized an auto memory doll is probably writing this, they might still be, interested in what the letter has to say.
Yep. And
Yeah,
what?
but for Charlotte, who really is feeling insecure about whether Damien wants to go through with the wedding or not, she would be the one who's like, confused about his true thoughts or his true intentions.
That's right. All right. What do you think
I
about?
still think
Yep.
there's plenty that doesn't make sense though.
Oh, it's a lot doesn't make sense. But well, it's kind of the story that this show gonna tell. So I'm alright with that.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, like the Titanic movies doesn't make any sense.
Titanic.
Yeah, it just a lot of plot holes and stuff. But because if you doesn't if you don't mind that too much,
What about the ship
it's
hitting
alright.
the iceberg?
Nah, it's
Oh,
like
other stuff.
other stuff.
Okay, I don't. It's been a long time since I watched Titanic. I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
It just it's just terrible. Like if you judge it on the basic of the story itself, it's terrible. But because
Well, that's James Cameron for you.
yeah, I never liked Jim Cameron's writing screenplays.
He's super
Have-
rich, so
He's super rich.
more power to him.
Yeah, right. How do you think about Charlotte, the relationship between Charlotte and her mate? What's her name?
Alberta?
Alberta, yeah.
It was. I liked it. I was the thing that was most noteworthy to me was when the first time we see Charlotte. She's in her canopied bed with all of her pillows and stuff,
Yep.
and Charlotte's like, "Go away," and she says, "No." She says, "No, I'm not leaving."
Yeah.
And Charlotte says something like, "It's you have to do what I say. It's your job." And she says, "No, I'm employed by the royal family. You're not my boss. Get
Yeah.
out of bed." I was like, "Whoa, this lady is serious."
That's right.
But I feel as though the main reason that Charlotte was so feeling so insecure throughout this episode was it was actually less about whether Damien reciprocated her feelings, and it was more about the fact that she was going to have to leave Alberta behind because she sees Alberta as a mother.
Yep.
She says to her at one point, like, you raised me.
Yeah, you raised me right before I was born. I think that's what she said. You
Yeah,
pulled me
Albert-
out of my mom's womb. That's what she
Yes.
said.
Yeah.
That was powerful actually. The image.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I really do feel as though, I mean, I'm sure that she was nervous about whether Damien would accept her or not, especially since she's 14. Like, she just started puberty probably 2 years ago,
Yep.
something like that, and so she's nervous about every aspect of the relationship, whether he's going to approve of her as a human being, whether he's going to approve of her sexually, what it's going to be like for her living in a new place. But I feel as though the thing that's powering her anxiety most is the fact that she has to leave Alberta behind.
Yeah.
So they get a nice little moment at the end together.
Yeah, that's right. And can you believe that Violet is 14 years old? I had
I
to.
mean, yeah, I can because it's Kyoto Animation and their animation of female characters and people in general does
Well-
not correspond to their age.
I had to double check the subtitle to see that if Violet say that she is 14 years old herself, and it does. So well,
Well, she doesn't say that she's 14. She says that as an orphan, she doesn't know her exact date of birth, but she's been told that she's probably around 14.
alright, she doesn't look 14 to me.
I mean, I think she probably does. Doesn't she? She looks pretty similar to the girls in Hibike Euphonium.
Yeah,
They're high
but
schoolers. They're like 15, 16.
16, still 16. 14 is like the age of um the I think the guys I think the characters in Suki Gakure are they 14 or are they 12?
They're not 12. They're in Japan. Middle school goes all the way through ninth grade, so they would be 15. They would be
See?
either 14 or 15.
So you see what I mean? It just like it just looks so different from Violet compared to Akane and the guide.
Yeah.
From
It-
the
I-
yeah.
But that's two different. That's two different studios, man. You know that. I mean, think about K-On! Think about K-On! Those girls look
Alright.
like they're what, 8?
Well, okay.
They're in high school.
Okay, let's take Haruhi Suzujima. She's like 16, I think, and she look like 10, and this girl she look like 30, and and
Did you say 30?
she look very old to me. She look like
She doesn't look 30.
sorry, but she look like a married woman to me.
I agree that she looks. I agree that she looks older than 14. But I mean, this whole time I haven't assumed her age, because I mean, we're dealing with KyoAni here.
Yeah.
I really feel like they just invent ages. You know, they do whatever they want.
Yeah, I just stop questioning about those.
Yeah, so she's 14, and I mean, for the purposes of this story, it's appropriate that she's the same age as Charlotte, because Charlotte initially is like looking to her as a source of advice from like one girl to another.
Yep.
You know, kind of as a friend, and then of course she gets frustrated when Violet is just acting like a robot and
I
you know,
I actually like that bit of the show when Charlotte just pointed out that Violet was so boring, was so robotic. That's self-awareness.
Yeah, it's about time somebody called that out as as hard as they did.
All right, I don't think I have anything more to say about the episodes. Do you have anything else?
Oh yes, I do.
Yep.
Do you think that she and Damien made love in the garden that night?
Nope.
Okay, I do. Because
tell me why.
Because when Alberta goes into her room the next morning,
Yeah.
and then Charlotte, she comes out from behind the window
Yeah.
curtain and
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"I'm over here." I can't remember exactly how the conversation proceeds, but at one point Alberta says, "I'm an adult,"
Yeah.
and then Charlotte says, "Oh, but I'm all grown up too."
Yeah. Well,
I kind of feel as though what she's referring to is that she's become a grown up
yeah.
because of a very specific
Well, he will
action.
he will propose to her that day as well. So maybe
Yeah.
she meant that as well. But interestingly, I think like the story of Romeo and Juliet when they first met, I think they did make love.
You think that they didn't?
I think they did. So
Oh yeah, they
so
did.
Romeo and Juliet. I mean, I have
Yeah.
I haven't read the story. Sorry.
Oh, the play?
The play the
No, they definitely have sex.
yeah. See, so I think it's kind of the same thing as well here.
Yeah, I mean, what is he asks her to marry him, and then she's like, yes. What? Okay, so then what? Do they just turn around and
Oh, they
like go
they-
home? No, that's not.
They ju-
I don't
they-
think that's gonna happen.
they just have a little chit chat like the moon is beautiful, and then go home. Yes. What else do you do?
You do the thing that makes her say the next morning that she's an adult.
Well,
That's just a theory.
no, it's interesting. It had its merits.
Yeah, but well, they can't show that on TV. Whatever.
Yeah. Well.
And I really doubt that a lot of other people would jump to that conclusion. Just I guess my impure 3D PD theory.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm about done with Violet Evergarden.
All right. So let's move on to Ergo Proxys.
Ugh. Oh, it's time to discuss Ergo Proxy.
Yep.
Okay, I'm awake. Let's do it.
All right. How? Oh, that's a lot happening.
Yeah, because it was 4 episodes worth.
Yeah, that's 4 episodes. What do you think so far of the show?
um. Okay. So once I watched the
Oh
third,
yeah.
fourth, and fifth episodes last week, I was
Yep.
like, oh man, this is moving a lot faster than I remember. This is I'm pretty interested in this.
Yep.
Maybe Ergo Proxy is like, uh, was God tier all along, and I was just too dumb to understand it.
Yep.
And then I watch these episodes, and I'm like struggling to stay conscious.
All right.
That's what I think.
It was
I
hard.
mean, go ahead.
It's not that hard to follow, but it just the pacing. I think this show have seriously had the pacing problem. Sometimes it just moves so quickly. Sometimes it moves so slow. Sometimes the two scenes doesn't like connect to each other, not in a good way. Like last week I complained about like how the continuous action event that play out very like differently. I got
Yeah.
the same feeling on it as well.
I didn't. Are you alluding to the dream sequence that starts one of the episodes?
Nah,
You
it's
were
not
talking about last
it's not
week.
the dream sequence that I was talking about. It was more about like uh, each episode they have like different kind of tone. And like last week when we're talking about like how railway come to the outside world, they have like a more upbeat tones, and then like the next one it's go like different kind of tones, and then the next one when when Vincent go with Pico to his hometown, they have like different kind of tone as well. So it
Oh,
just
he hasn't been with Pico to his hometown yet. They haven't gotten to Moscow.
yeah they haven't got into most, but like the Chinese.
Yeah.
It,
I don't know. I feel as though the tone is too consistent.
oh really?
It's too like oppressive and too relentlessly like drab and gray.
All right.
The thing that really bothers me about these episodes is the continuous, constant, unceasing use of just really pointless, flowery dialogue. Like, war is pointless, but there is meaning in being destroyed. And someday your eyes will be blinded by the light of truth, and you will know eternal darkness. Like
Yeah.
what what does that mean?
Nah. I think you need to watch it to the end to know what it means.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I get the same feeling as well.
It's oh my gosh. Okay, so I just finished Techno Lies.
Oh right.
And that show, I have to imagine that show and this one have been compared, I don't know, probably thousands of times.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're pretty similar. But Techno Lies is all about like silence
Mm-hmm.
and showing characters' thoughts and feelings
Right.
by their facial expressions
Yep.
and by the glances that they give to each other.
Yep.
And it'll go a long time with just like background music and sounds that are occurring in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
But Ergo Proxy has thoughts constantly running through the heads of his characters, and they don't really contribute that much to your understanding of the people in the show
Mhm.
or the show itself. It's
Well-
just filling time.
All right. I think so far we have like two different kind of story. So one follow Vincent go through the outside world,
Yeah.
and one we follow Real
Real.
when she's like like try to uncover like
Yeah.
try
Episodes-
to Yeah, yep. Go on, go on, go on.
when she's trying to uncover the truth.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Episodes 8 and 9 were all Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Real didn't show up once in either of those episodes. It was all Vincent and Pino.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
but in episode
yeah, and
in episode 6 and 7, it was both of them.
yeah. So I'm for now I prefer the story of Real more than Vincent's because I actually I do I think Vincent's journey is kind of dull right now. So
Dull?
yeah, so
Okay.
he just doesn't know what he's looking for, basically.
Well, he may start to figure that out. Now, I mean, at
Yeah,
the end
that's
of
right.
episode 9, we actually see him transform into a proxy. So
Yeah.
we finally have, confirmation.
The
That's
titular
what he is.
the titular name. So
Yes.
he's the occult proxies. He the proxy
Right.
of the dead.
Right.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. And he killed Senex
Yep.
in episode 8. That
Yep,
was
yep.
the female proxy.
What
And then
what's the
he-
name? I got here is Senekishu.
Yeah, my sub said Senex, Senex.
Senex.
And if you were to try to pronounce that as a Japanese person, it would be Seniksu,
Oh,
because
Senek.
they don't
Yeah,
they
I
don't
got
have like that X sound.
Yeah, yeah.
They would have to say
Se-
Ikusu.
Yep. All right. So Senek.
Yeah. So he killed her in episode 8, and then in episode 9 it's Kazkis.
Yep. Oh,
And the whole
Right.
idea is that those two were lovers.
yeah. They are both proxy, right? So Senek were proxies.
Yes, and so was Kazkis.
All right.
He was the blonde doctor guy.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
His whole story, like, and his relationship with Senex, I'm not sure what we were supposed to take from that,
Well, eh,
because they both
well,
enter the show very quickly and then they die very quickly.
yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
Vincent is ergo proxy. He's the bringer of death. So he obviously needs. I mean, for that to be his character, he needs to be killing people
Yep.
or other proxies. But a lot of time was spent going into detail about, especially in episode 9, about Kazkis and Senex, and the fact that in their city there are twin towers that they built so that they would, as like a symbol of their love or something. And,
Well, yeah.
but they both just he just kills them and that's it.
Yeah, it. I think they try to explore the idea of destruction. So the idea of like the guys who make up the wars, so that I well to bring the destruction because he think that will be good in some sort of way.
Are you talking about the fact that in what is the name of their city? It's Asura. Kazkis is
Yeah,
like the boss of Asura, I guess, and he has all those
Yep.
robots,
Yep.
and he's sending them after all the humans who are living
Yeah.
in that military base.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah. I was
I-
talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that the idea, like the show's trying to portray conflict between machines and man, but I'm just really vague on how the proxies figure into all of this,
Yeah, that's right.
and all the time that the show spends building up his whole thing with Senex. I was just yawning. I was
Yeah.
literally yawning as I was watching.
Uh,
So.
and I don't feel the connection between Vincent and Pino as well. So like I think it is on purpose because like Vincent think himself as a human, so he try not to not to regard Pino as one of his kind. So
Right.
he kind of distance himself from her.
Yeah, after those, remember they were traveling on the Rabbit,
Yeah, yeah,
that sailboat, and after the other two guys, the two older men
Yeah,
die.
yeah. He said like
He
he was
says-
alone.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think he does over the course of these episodes. He does start to show Pino like a little more recognition, more affection.
Yeah, so
Especially in
he
episode
give
9.
one more to, yeah, he said one more to Pino, but like all of it action or of it decision is all by himself. So he just never think of her when he do all the stuff. That's just my feeling, you know.
He's looking out for her in episode 9.
How?
Because
No,
she's like
That's
she's
what she
afraid.
said. Yeah, that what she said, and she basically had to run out of that thing, and wait for him, and
Right.
he didn't even come.
Well, at that point he was like transforming into a proxy.
Yeah, well,
But remember, he's like sticking up for Pino. Remember when he and Kazgus are sitting in that dining hall and he's drinking all that wine,
yeah,
and Pino like runs out of the room because she's afraid of Kazgus.
yeah,
And Vincent says he's explaining that she's an auto rave, and Kazkus doesn't even know what that is. He's saying she acts like a child and she's usually very friendly. I don't know why she would do this.
yeah.
So he's kind of sticking up for her a little bit there. And
Or-
at other parts of that episode, when she was afraid, you know, she would come running up to him and like hide behind him, and he would kind of block Kazkus's path
Yeah.
to her.
Mm. All right. So
I
what?
think he's coming around.
Yeah. So what do you think about the proxy so far?
I don't understand what they. I mean, okay, so we know what a proxy is now, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, kind
We
of.
know that they're made up of Amrita cells, which are immortal,
Yep.
and that those
So
cells
they
are
kind-
somehow they're the key to like sustaining life in these domes.
Yeah. So they kind of like a god
Yeah,
And
they're not humans.
and a monster at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
So
what's
we don't know where they came from, but we know
Yeah.
that they're made of immortal cells.
Yeah.
That like that council of statues,
Mhm.
they need them in order to. I think that they probably tie into the artificial wombs.
Mm.
You remember
Yep.
Riel finds the artificial womb in episode 7 after she busts out of the hospital.
Yep.
And then there's also mention of an artificial womb in episode 8 at that military base.
All right. Yes, that's right.
So I think that the guys at the military base are also creating humans artificially.
Mm.
But they don't have. They mentioned like they can't use too much power.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know what the deal there is. It's obviously really power intensive, and the proxies are probably the key to like generate unlimited human generation or something. I don't know.
I still feel this show is very exclusive. In a way that, you know, like we just see like certain kind of characters, and we don't see like the rest of them very much. Like many of them just appear for like 1-2 episodes, and they go on to they just serve as a they like, you know, like supporting. So
Well, yeah, the only main characters are Riel, Vincent,
the doctor, the
Daedalus, yeah,
yeah.
Raoul, the
Yeah,
the
Raoul.
head of Rondo, and Pino, I would say, is probably a main
Yeah.
character,
and,
even though she's a
and,
child.
and maybe real grandfather. That's it.
I wouldn't say that he's a main character.
I think he will appear to the end. He will stay to the
Yeah.
end.
Well, I kind of have a theory that he's gonna die, and Raoul is gonna be his replacement.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Because Raoul even remember he's talking to his auto rave,
Yeah.
and he says something about the regent's health. The regent being Riel's grandfather, the guy who's in that area with all the statues.
Yeah.
He says something about the regent's health, and she says, "You know, they can hear you, right? I'm obligated to report that." And he says, "Good. I want them to hear."
Hmm.
So I
Yep.
think he has aspirations of like becoming the regent, becoming the boss of Rondo.
Yep. Hmm. All right. What you expect?
I don't
Vincent
expect anything.
Vincent hometown will be.
Yeah, Mosque. That's going to be interesting. In each of these places that he's discovered.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before that, it's ice, right? What he's traveling over.
Yep. Oh, sand. I don't know.
in later episodes, like when he buries the two older guys,
Yeah.
it does seem like it's dirt or sand or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's digging it up with the shovel.
Yeah.
But in episode I think 6, do you remember the scene where Pino is like she grabs something and then she's skating? She's
Oh.
like sliding down a hill, and it sounds like she's skating on ice.
It.
She's like going down the hill really fast, and then he grabs her by the hood in order to stop her from going too far. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
I'm pretty sure that it doesn't feel as cold as ice. From the way I see, but
Do you remember the shot of like two people's hands?
yeah.
There were two people holding hands under the surface of whatever it is that they were traveling over. It seemed to me that two people were holding hands under the ice, like they were buried, like there's been some kind of ice age or something.
All right.
Because
Man.
they do talk about like the further away you get from civilization, from the dome and from the commune,
Yeah.
it gets colder.
All right. All right.
So I'm confused. That's why I brought that up. I'm confused as to whether it's ice, because in some scenes it appears to be, or whether it's like, sand, because in some scenes it appears to be that.
Man.
Anyway, your question was about his hometown.
Yep.
I don't know.
What do you
That's my
expect?
answer.
No.
I expect there to be another proxy there.
Right.
He's obviously the proxy that originated from Mosque,
Yep.
but I'm expecting there'll be another just for like the purposes of the story.
Mm.
Maybe it'll be like a little more friendly than the last one.
All right. So
Maybe.
we basically have like 14, 15 episodes left. So there's still plenty of stuff.
Aren't there 17? Aren't there 17 episodes left?
They are 23 in total, and we
Okay,
finished
yeah,
9 of
14.
them.
I
So
didn't know there were
14.
only 23. That's weird.
Only 23. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 14 more.
So I'm sure there's gonna be like a lot of stuff, a lot of twists and turns left.
Maybe. Or maybe there'll just be more dialogue about how, war is pointless, but there's meaning in being destroyed.
Well, let's see.
Oh, here's a question.
Yep.
Do you remember that woman who was in jail at the military base?
Yeah. That's yep.
Was she was a proxy, right?
Nah, I don't think she's
no,
a
no,
person.
no. She was not a proxy. She was an auto rave, right?
I think she's out of rep. Yes.
Because she gets into the praying position when she sees Senex.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
So I guess she's a corrupted auto rave.
yeah, but she doesn't serve any purpose. No, she serves some purpose, but she isn't that significant at all.
She's another one of those characters who's just like spouting off prophecy and
Yeah, and then
a
died.
bunch of complicated sounding dialogue, and then just Well, did she die? She probably did, right?
Yeah, she got cut off. I think her head cut off or something.
I mean, there was a huge battle between two godlike figures, so she probably didn't come out alive.
Yeah.
Oh, the fight between
I would assume that like no one in the Halos team survive after like all the things that Vincent and the other proxies fighting.
Yeah. Well, we saw a lot of them die at the hands of Senex,
Yeah.
because she was using those like tentacle-looking things
Yeah.
that she could sharpen into blades. It reminded me of one of the robots in Evangelion, actually.
Oh, right.
So that, what were we talking about?
Echo process.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I lost my place in the discussion. Oh yeah, I remember the question I was going to ask. What did you think about the fact that Vincent, like, or Ergo Proxy,
Yeah.
however you want to refer to him when he's in that state, he like shot light out of his eyes into Senex's eyes.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that when they glowed blue and there was like lightning between them? What is the deal there?
Maybe they're changing information. Nah,
It seemed like it was some sort of weapon though. Like, didn't she die afterwards? Or
No, Well,
She was kind of drained of energy afterwards.
yeah, I think it's some sort of training, but well, I think it's more like a connection that than a weapon. If you know what I mean.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That he like maybe they kind of merge together, and then their spirits or their souls
Yeah.
were kind of like vying for dominance.
I'm thinking more of that way.
Yeah, and then his like came out ahead, and that's why she was kind of slumped over afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Moody died. Should probably talk about that.
Oh right, Moody.
Because we were, as viewers, we were led to believe that it was Vincent who went back to Rondo
Yep.
with Rio, but it was actually Moody.
So
Interesting that Vincent agreed to that.
Mm,
Because he's like in love with Rio, right?
yeah. Well, at this point, I don't questions like any of those decisions from all those characters.
You've just given up on trying to understand them.
Yeah, because I'm know for sure that I would never get behind them, understand what they think.
Okay.
Not
I was,
not in that bad way, but they just feel unrelated,
Yeah, I'm not
unrelatable.
I'm not really interested in any. I think my favorite character so far is probably Daedalus,
Right.
the doctor, because even though he's helping Rio, and I thought Daedalus was a girl, first of all,
Yeah.
but apparently he's not. I do think even though he's helping Rio, that his higher allegiance is to the state and to Ramdo. So I feel as though he will betray Rio in the future.
Well, I think this gonna be like kind of his act, its character act. So like between Rio and follow on these instructions.
Right. So he'll have to decide between like obeying the government or obeying himself, like his own compulsions, his own feelings.
Yeah. Right. All right.
I'm sure that story's been told like a jillion times before, but
Yep.
Ergo
So-
Praxis doing it again.
Yeah, so my bottom lines is I don't really enjoy the last 4 episodes we watched,
Yeah, me neither.
but at least I think we're getting somewhere now. That's Vincent. Now he knows that he proxies. So let's see how, because I think after the two journeys, they will become together. They will get into together. Vincent and Rue get together, and then we have like the final act, the big climax.
Yeah, I mean, you have to assume that they'll reunite at some point.
Yeah.
Because she's obsessed with proxies now.
Yep.
She wants to uncover the truth behind Ramdo, and proxies are obvious. The concept of a proxy and those cells that they're made up of are like crucial to it.
All right.
So
So
yeah, they'll be meeting again. I
right.
don't know when.
So how many episodes you want us to watch and review
Just do-
next time?
Just do 4 again.
4. So from 10 to 13.
Yeah, is it really only 23 episodes?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, it is. I just looked. I can't believe it.
How many episodes that you think they gonna be?
What do you mean?
How many episodes that you originally think?
Oh, I thought it would be like 26
Oh, right.
instead of because like that's two seasons worth.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of shows back then. I mean, this show isn't that old. It's only 12 years old.
Mhm.
But a lot of shows in the let's say 2010 era got full 2 core orders.
Yep.
This is a little less, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess we'll just watch 4 for next week. Is that a good number for you or?
yeah, that's right. 3 Gatsu only got like 22 episodes. For
Yeah,
the
but that's
2 core.
that's more modern, right? And so a lot of shows
Oh.
recently have been getting only 11 or 12 episodes
Right.
per core.
All right.
I guess we're done.
Yep.
All right.
Whew.
tune in next week. We won't be watching Junji Ito anymore, or rather, we won't be talking about it. We'll figure out what show we want to do.
All right. So basically, it's not that good a week in terms of anime that we watch.
Well, in terms of anime that I watched not on this podcast, I saw episode 35 of Frigatsu, which is the one with Chio.
Oh,
Her
right.
letter.
Yeah.
And that made me cry.
It was
so
very
good.
emotional. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but for all this stuff, it was After the Rain, best show as usual.
Yep.
Everything else, try harder.
Yeah, I'm not really hot on Kokkoku. I really like Violet Evergarden, but other
Yeah.
shows, nah.
Well, we'll pick up a different show, and maybe that'll spice things up a bit.
All right.
Any closing remarks for the people out there?
Nah, it's alright. I see you next time, I guess.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.